even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land.
So you're gonna be cut off. Cut off means that you're going to the lake of fire. That's it. Ain't but two ways. Either you're gonna be in the kingdom with God, well, you're gonna be in the kingdom, but that's another lesson. You're gonna be with God, which is Jesus, or you're gonna be in the lake of fire. Ain't no in between here. So if you eating bread with yeast in it, you cut it off. Why your pastor ain't told you this? Why he keep you going to church on Easter Sunday, Christmas, Thanksgiving? All these days are not written in the book. These guys specific instructions. How are we supposed to stay sealed? This is how. The instruction, the ordinance. Go ahead.
Ye shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall you eat unleavened bread.
Nothing with yeast in it. Meaning bread now. We ain't talking about yeast and sodas, yeast and macaroni. We just talking about bread. We gotta make sure, cause the first time we done this, I threw everything away that had yeast in it. I didn't care what it was. Until I understood, this is the Feast of Unleavend bread. Not the Feast of Unleavend bread of potato chips. Not the Feast of Unleavend bread of macaroni and cheese or whatever it is. Or lasagna. You just gotta make sure you know what you're doing. And this is, when you get sealed with God, you're able to teach people how we should carry it out. And that's why we're here today. You finished with that?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Exodus chapter 13 and verse 3. We still get more detail on the Feast of Unleavened bread. God wants us to never forget about the history of this. He never. Exodus chapter 13 and verse 3. Still get more detail on this feast so you can be prepared and sealed. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by the strength of hand the Lord brought you out from this place.
He says, remember this day. Remember. You got it. Testing.
Yeah.
He said, remember this day that I brought you out of the house of bondage. Just like we in bondage right now. He wants us to remember, so in our day, we got some hope that he's going to do the exact same thing. I'm not saying he's going to be on the Feast of Unleavened bread, but he's going to deliver us just like he delivered Israel on this same day. In our day. Go ahead.
There shall no leavened bread be eaten.
He's still talking about leavened bread. No bread with yeast in it. Go ahead.
This day came ye out in the month Abib.
So what is the month Abib? That's the first month of the year.
Yes.
Not January.
Right.
Not the god of Janus. Go look it up. January is giving praise and honor to the god of Janus. The god of two faces. The opening and closing of doors. God ain't never told us to start no New Year off in the winter when everything dead. Where do you get that from? Everything starts off in God's book in a bib. That's the spring, the regeneration, the rebirth of all the grass, the flowers, the trees, the fruit on the trees, everything just birthing. Just being rebirthed. Go ahead.
And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites,
Yes, sir.
and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey,
Yes, sir.
that thou shalt keep this service in this month.
He told them, I'm going to bring you in the land of the Africans. That's all it is. Genesis, go to Genesis chapter 10, and it'll tell you the genealogy of where these people's names come from, which is the seed of Ham. He said, I'm going to bring you into Canaan, which is Africa, which people don't understand that Jerusalem is a part of Africa. Jerusalem is just the headquarters of the whole continent of Africa.
That's right.
He said, I want you to come in there. I want you to keep this self-same servant. Teach them about me. But look at Israel today. We are being taught every other pagan holiday it is besides these high days, these high Sabbaths. He said, when you get in the land, teach them. This is how you seal them. Seal them with the word of God. Go ahead.
7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread.
Yes, sir.
And in the 7th day shall be a feast to the Lord.
These are the instructions. 7 days thou shalt eat unleavened bread, bread without yeast in it. And 7 days shall be in the feast of the Lord. This is how you stay in his grace. Go ahead.
Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days.
Yes, sir.
And there shall no leavened bread be seen with thee. Neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters.
Yes, sir.
And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which the Lord did unto me when I came forth out of Egypt.
So I got an opportunity as a parent to give protection to your child and show your child how God will protect you if you keep this Feast of Unleavened Bread. How many of us teaching our children this, but you say you love your child? God said, and thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, this was done because of what the Lord did unto me when I came out of Egypt.
That's right.
So we got to show our children so they can keep it going. Some of us dying off. We got to keep this thing going, showing that they can get protection from God. But if you just got 1 or 2 people who keeping it and you don't teach your children, they're not going to keep this going. The world going to overpower them. They're going to overpower them. So you got to keep this feast going. Go ahead.
Verse 9. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand.
Yes, sir.
And for a memorial between thine eyes.
Wait a minute. He said a sign upon your hand. What is your hands? Action. We get together. We make sure we get all the leavened bread out of the house. That's a sign on your hand. We get together. We cook a meal. And we feast the whole seven days. That's an action. We get together and with our hands and make sure that we open these pages of the book and we have a holy convocation and we read to the people and show them why this feast is so important. This is our handiwork. And he said right there, he's for a memorial between our eyes, meaning that your memory, what's in your mind, we remember this memorial. And believe me, in Egypt at this time, the firstborn of every human and every beast that didn't have the blood upon their doorpost, it was a memorial that day. And most of all, the memorial happened also when Christ died on the Passover. The people died that day. A lot of people died on the same day when we came out. It was that next morning they woke up and Pharaoh said, man, y'all get out of here before we become dead men. That was the last plague that he put on Egypt, when he killed the firstborn of everything. Yeah. And look at the plague going on today with this coronavirus. God is still working in this day. Seal your family. Seal yourself. Understand what he's doing. If you don't understand what he's doing, you will not take part of this holiday. You're worried about you ain't got no money because they're keeping you off your job. You're worried about, I got to go to the grocery store so I can get some food so they won't sell out. All this stuff you shouldn't be worried about. You should be worried about keeping this holy day, staying off of work, and not eating bread with yeast in it, and most of all, eating unleavened bread without yeast in it. Most people ain't worried about that. Go ahead, brother.
And it shall be for, I'm going to start over verse 9.
Okay.
And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand.
Yes, sir.
And for a memorial between thine eyes.
Yes, sir.
That the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand has the Lord brought thee out of Egypt.
This is what God done for our people. He going to do the exact same thing. Keep going.
Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in its seasons from year to year.
You see what he said? In its season. We cannot keep Passover every first Sunday, every second Sunday, every third Sunday, all 4 Sundays. That's not in the season. Passover happens 1 time a year. And this is how we kick the feast of the Lord off. We understand the 14th day of the first month, which is a Abib. That's the season. That's not the season that you keep Passover every first Sunday, second Sunday, third Sunday, or fourth Sunday. Where you get that from? The book say one time a year, the 14th day. Then now we're on the 15th day. This is the season that we're in, the high holy days. We should be merry, enjoying ourselves. But I'm just showing you the details of it. Let's go to Numbers chapter 33. Let's see the history of Israel. God wrote this down. And he made sure Moses write this down for us so we can remember it, so we can go back. Numbers chapter 33, we're going to start at verse 1, because everybody in the world know where they from, but Israel, or the so-called Negroes. We claim it's some other people. We claim to be Africans, the pharaohs, the Sphinx, the pyramids. True enough, we built those things, but those people were not us. We were the Israelites. We were black, just like the Africans, but it was a difference in us. Let me show you the history that God told Moses to do. Numbers chapter 33 and verse 1. Go ahead.
These are the journeys of the children of Israel,
Yes, sir.
which went forth out of the land of Egypt with their armies under the hand of Moses and Aaron.
We're still talking about the same day with the Feast of Unleavend bread, when we came out of Egypt on this same day. Go ahead.
And Moses wrote their going out according to their journeys by the commandment of the Lord. And these are their journeys according to their goings out.
See, God told Moses to write it down. Write it down so Israel will remember, even down to our generation. So you won't have no excuse of saying, Lord, we didn't know what to do. He said, I've told Moses to write in the book, told you to read Moses' writing. And also I wrote in the New Testament. We're going to show you the Feast of Unleavend bread in the New Testament where apostles kept it. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 3. And they departed from Ramses in the first month.
Yes, sir.
On the 15th day of the first month. On the morrow after the Passover, the children of Israel went out with their high hand in the sight of all the Egyptians.
You see what we done on this day? After the Passover, we got out of Egypt. Our ancestors got out of Egypt. They were delivered. And it's going to happen the exact same way. Exact same way in our day. But are you going to be sealed in your mind to recognize the transportation? When they tell you, okay, the third temple in Jerusalem being built. And we know Matthew chapter 24 said, hey, whosoever readeth what Daniel had wrote and flee to the wilderness. Who understand the abomination and desolation in your church? And what they're supposed to do when they see the man of sin, not the Antichrist, but the man of sin sitting in the temple of God and calling himself God. He said, flee. The ones that seal in their mind, they're going to drop everything they got and recognize their transportation and get on somewhere. Try to get to the wilderness. Go ahead.
For the Egyptians buried all their firstborn, which the Lord had smitten among them.
Yes, sir.
Upon their gods also the Lord executed judgment.
This is the history. When this is the last plague that God performed on Ramses and Egyptians, he killed their firstborn that didn't have that blood on their doorposts of their houses. This is the history. This is the reason why we are remembering this. And like I said before, I'm going to show you, this ain't on the script. Yeah. Let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20. Let me show you God is going to do the exact same thing. In our day, that's why he wants us to remember this day. So when your transportation shows up, you won't be hesitating. You'll jump in that ship, jump in that boat, jump in that plane, and you're going to get to Jerusalem, near Jerusalem, outside Jerusalem, not inside Jerusalem, but the wilderness. Let me show you what I'm talking about. We're rehearsing these scripts. We're making sure we follow the ordinance. Ezekiel chapter 20, we're going to start with verse 34. This is future right here, and I'm going to show you that God is going to do the exact same thing he did on this same day, on the Feast of Unleavend bread. that He gonna do in the future. He gonna deliver Israel. I'm not saying they're gonna be on the Feast of Unleavend Bread, but He gonna do the exact same thing to delivering us. In the wilderness, that's the safety place. Verse 34, go ahead.
And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered.
Yes, sir.
With a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out.
Where were we scattered? In Deuteronomy chapter 28, it shows us where He said we're going to be plucked out the land and scattered amongst the heathens. That's only talking about one set of people. That's the Israelites, the ones that killed in the street. The ones that having bad trials, they can afford an attorney so they get a public defender. And when they should have got off, they got 20 years. We have been oppressed in this land. Poured out. But God said, I'm going to deliver the ones that were scattered. Go read Deuteronomy chapter 28. It'll show you who was scattered. Verse 35, go ahead.
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people.
Yes, sir.
And there will I plead with you face to face.
Wait a minute. Now, God said, I'm going to bring you into the wilderness of the people. If you want to know where the wilderness is at, it's outside of Jerusalem, outside of Mount Sinai, in a desert. He said, where He shall plead. Jesus is going to be there, face to face. We're going to see Him. Go ahead.
Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, says the Lord God.
Oh, so this is different. How He pleaded with Moses and the children of Israel and Egypt after He brought them into the wilderness. This is a different time frame. This future. He's going to be there, pleading with us. He said, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness in the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith the Lord. I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm going to bring you out the exact same way I brought the children of Israel out on the Feast of Unleaved Bread. That's why He wants us to remember this. So we can rehearse. So we can make sure our minds are sealed. It won't be no shocker. When it goes down, He tells the angels to hold back the destruction. So when the destruction hit on the Great Tribulation, you're going to be sitting in the wilderness saying, whoo, well, I'm glad I made it in here. Because Psalm 91 said, 1,000 shall fall at your side and 10,000 at your right hand. Meaning that we're going to be able to see all this destruction that's going to happen 3.5 years. And how are we going to be able to see it? We were sealed in the wilderness of protection. It ain't gonna hurt us. It ain't gonna get in, and we ain't gonna get out. But God gonna make sure He take care of the people in the wilderness that are evil. Listen what He gonna do to them. Go ahead.
And I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Yes, sir.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
Oh, meaning you gotta keep this covenant, the law. You ain't coming in there with no Christmas. You ain't coming in there with no Easter. Ain't no homosexuals coming in there. Let me show you what God gonna do to these people before we even get that protection. Go ahead.
And I will purge out from among you the rebels, and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn.
Yes, sir.
And they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Notice what He said. I will purge out. So what are we doing this feast day? We purging out the leavening. He said, I'm going to purge out amongst the rebels, all the ones that do not believe that Jesus is our Savior. And they're going to be looking for the Father. No, Jesus is going to be there face to face. Jesus is the one that is in Genesis. Jesus is the one that is in Matthew. He's the God of both Testaments. And a lot of people don't believe that Jesus is the one that's going to save us. They think it's going to be the Father. They don't know the book. You guys to know the book, to know that God, Jesus, is the God of both Testaments. The Father, we haven't even heard His voice and seen His shape at any time. He coming down on the 8th day of the Feast of Tabernacle. We finished with that?
Yes, sir.
I just want to show you in Ezekiel where He said He don't go and get the ones that are scattered, which is Israel in the four corners of the earth. And He's going to bring us back to the wilderness for protection. The exact same thing He did with Israel when he brought them out of Pharaoh's house in Moses' day. He said, like as I did with your fathers in the wilderness, like Moses. That's food for thought, right? Let's go to Acts chapter 20. I told y'all that the apostles kept the Feast of Unleavened Bread. It's all here. Folks say, man, y'all spend so much time in the Old Testament. Y'all don't go in the New Testament. We're going in the new book right now. So you will rest your head that Paul did the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Acts chapter 20, we're going to read verse 1, and then we're going to drop to verse 5. Go ahead.
And after the uproar was ceased, Paul called unto him the disciples, and embraced them, and departed for to go into Macedonia.
Jump down to verse 5.
These going before tarried for us at Taurus.
Yes, sir.
And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread.
What? He said, Paul said, we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread. What is he talking about here?
Yes.
Passover and the Feast of unleavened bread that we're supposed to do for 7 days. He didn't go nowhere until those days were finished. So why don't your preacher take me to these scriptures right here about the days of unleavened bread with Paul? You know, they believe more about Paul than anybody else. Ain't nothing wrong with Paul. I'm not disrespecting Paul. But if you ain't got no right understanding, Paul will jack your mind up. Peter said that. Paul writing is hard to understand. Go ahead.
And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread, and came unto them to Taurus in 5 days, where we abode 7 days.
I wonder why they're bored 7 days. How long was the Feast of Unleavened Bread?
7 days.
7 days. They're following the law. Amen. Paul is following the law. People don't understand. All these feast days are in the Bible from Genesis, from Leviticus all the way to Revelation. They're here. We finished with that?
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Matthew chapter 16. Let me show you the spiritual meaning of leavening. Matthew 16. So God uses a lot of metaphors. He's not just bread. Eating bread is nothing that you're looking at like, okay, like it's going to be harmful to your body if you eat it now. Because we see people right now who ain't even, who eating bread with yeast in, and they walk around ain't like nothing wrong with it. But the problem is, when your resume come up in judgment, that's the problem. When God sees that on these days right here,